something in the air. Something familiar. It smells like a song!
I'm hunting in the woods again with claws of adamantium. These fucking things can chop through anything. I'll chop apart that redwood tree and slice the wings off of a bee. I'm not a circus freak, I'm Wolverine.
Cut.
So anyway, welcome to the Monster Sci-Fi Show. And guess what? This may be our first and maybe our last podcast for a while until I figure out what the hell's going on with my computer.
No, it's fine.
No, it's not. We spent 2 hours last time trying to get our podcast up and running, and for some reason the microphone just kind of crapped out on me.
You learn, you take baby steps. Baby steps to run.
You calling me a baby?
But you're bald.
Oh my god.
Bring it on. What you got? Come on, you want to bring up my bald spot? Go ahead, come on. What you got?
You got a bald spot. And it's getting bigger every time.
Yeah, but there's more hair elsewhere on my body than you have on yours.
I don't want to hear
I
about
don't know.
your
I
damn
don't know that
scrotum.
for sure. Yeah.
Ass hair. What?
Oh! Anyway, we just came from
over.
seeing Wolverine.
Why?
The Wolverine.
Why? Why did we have to see Wolverine?
Because we're dorks.
And there was nothing else out there. That's the problem.
We saw it, oddly enough, at a lovely theater, a lovely AMC theater here in lovely Miami, Florida, that because the prices are low before 6 p.m., Monday through Thursday.
$5.
Yes, indeed.
Super special.
But there's a catch. Sometimes, if the movie is big, you get subtitles.
And,
It's Spanish, which is fine.
yeah.
It's that kind of world. And, we're happy. We're okay.
And besides, I didn't want to wait another hour to see the crappy movie.
We didn't... Well, did we know it was going to be crappy when we went into it?
No, but I was laughing at when I was buying the tickets. I was looking at the time. It's like, 305 in subtitle Spanish. I'm like, the lady behind the counter was laughing.
And she did tell you.
And she did tell me.
Which is good. That's her job.
Yeah, it's like, and I said, that's why I'm laughing. Because that's why we're going to be watching this with subtitles. But you would think that would be a nice addition or something to kind of help enhance it.
They had the upside down question marks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay? Yo, usted, which is about all the Spanish that I know. But let's get into the thick of it, because I know those who are listening to this podcast really want to know what we think about the Wolverine. So, Gene, tell us what you think about the Wolverine.
The Wolverine was...
No. You gotta say it differently. You gotta say...
The Wolverine!
Thank you.
Thank you. Was, they tried. I'm really not angry with it. It entertained me, but I read the Frank Miller original comic from which it was loosely based on.
Right.
And based on that, I was like, but Wolverine was cooler. And there was more dimension to the characters than these simple one dimensions. They had at least two dimensions on them. But these characters, I mean, the first, I think third of it was okay. I was okay with that.
Well, let's kind of start off with when this movie takes place. I think that's the biggest problem that we've had.
What do you mean?
Okay, the Wolverine is supposed to take place after the events of X-Men 3 Last Stand.
Right, yes.
In which Jean Grey appears.
And James Mangold says it is a sequel
Right.
to that movie, which is akin to, well, Superman Returns takes place 5 years after Superman 2. Forget Superman 3, Superman 4.
Yeah.
Those things were not acknowledging their existence.
It never happened.
It
happened after he returned.
Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah.
He went to space to find some lead on it. Yeah. This movie was weird. There's spoilers here, ladies and gentlemen. If you probably don't care. Anyway, but
this movie does not need you to be spoiled with warnings all over, because we're just going to spoil it anyway.
So yeah,
we're
anyway.
saving you $5 plus
depending on where you live, and then there's Cokes, and then you're $20, maybe 2 people,
$20+ plus 2 hours of your
unless
life.
you sneak into it. You can sneak into it, but we're not condoning that.
You don't need to sneak in. You have better things to do with your lives, unlike us.
You have a job for now.
At least for now, I have one.
But in any case, yes, Monty, go ahead.
All right. So the whole problem that we've had was the storyline involving Jean Grey appearing to Wolverine in his dreams, his subconscious, throughout the story, because he felt guilty for, if he didn't see X-Men 3, I guess I might as well spoil it, kills Jean Grey in the process.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that kept coming up through the movie. That okay, so the X-Men Last Stand happened in 2006.
Right.
That was 7 freaking years ago.
But, movie time doesn't make a difference. This
Yes.
just happened the next day.
No, but since then we've had we're trying to forget X-Men Origin. I do my best every day, and
Which I tried to... we never found out when that time frame took place. If X-Men Origins is after X-Men 3...
that was made in 2009.
Right, but was it taking place after X-Men series? Or before? Does it make a difference at this point? Because it was shit.
You know those questions you don't want to ask yourself, Monty?
Like, why do I not have hair?
Like
Why
what?
do clowns cry on the
Like,
inside?
oh no, I forgot to clean out the bucket from last Thanksgiving. We made the turkey, we brined the turkey in.
Or does this look infected?
Well, you're quoting Lilo and Stitch?
Lilo and Stitch, why not?
Really?
That's one of my favorite lines.
This
That and I'm fluffy. What is it? Never mind. Stitch going, I'm cute and fluffy. That's what it is. Cute and fluffy.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
No, so that was my problem.
welcome to the Chevy Chase Show, ladies and gentlemen.
No. The whole point was that if this event took place after X-Men 3...
Which it does.
It does. Officially, that's what it says.
Maybe a year or two after. I think a year.
Yeah. But honestly, it never did anything to the story. It didn't enhance it. You could have removed Jean Grey out of that altogether.
But Famke Janssen has to eat. Really, she's skinny. She has to eat.
It's not like she has to eat Subway.
No.
You got to eat. No. That's who's
Checkers.
Checkers. Sorry. That's the different catchphrase from.
And I'm drinking, and you're sober, and
How many drinks did you already have? 2.
And I'm going for a third in a minute.
Going for a third.
It starts out promising. Wolverine is there somehow for some odd reason. In Nagasaki, Japan, when the bomb is about to be dropped, I believe.
Yeah, and that sequence again was probably one of my favorite moments.
I had no problem with it. It was
because
fun.
of the person that he helped save. Because basically Wolverine shielded him with his own body and like a metal plate, and you see like
I buy it.
Wolverine being burned alive, literally, and it's a great sequence. And in doing so, he saves his life. He rewards him with a sword that he says, "I'll come back later," which he never came back for. And remember,
But he says, "I'll come back for it."
right? He did
And
come back.
then Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
We
Dragon Ball Z,
We
girl.
try to work on the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Like, you have to explain Dragon Ball Z, girl, if we're going to say that in the podcast.
No, but the thing is, I
She
thought
looked like someone that might
it looked like because I saw Dragon Ball Z Evolution, the live-action version of Dragon Ball Z.
So, even though it's not the actress,
That's how for some
we
reason
may
I
say
thought about it.
Yu-Gi-Oh. But
Yeah.
her character does bring him the sword.
Right, but
Eh?
but he never takes it.
But it's one of the clinchers that makes him go, "Yes, I helped you, Logan-san, and this man you saved long ago." Mind you, my mouth is moving out of sequence when I say these things. Just
Because it translates so well
He
over
wants
audio.
to thank you and pay all debts. And so Wolverine, being an honorable, messed up guy, or just okay, sure.
All right, for one day, I'll go.
I'll get 15 hours. Yeah, okay, fine.
No, that's
But
fine. He goes. He has nothing else to do. He just had to kill a bear.
he's in the Canadian wilderness. Just sitting
We're
there.
assuming it's Canada.
Well, yeah.
It could be Oregon, Seattle. New Jersey.
And the finest homeless shelter, finest
Yeah.
homeless standards of living, goes into the sporting goods store to buy batteries for his radio. That's
Apparently
beautiful.
he has money somehow.
Good
I
point.
thought he was going to steal, but he has better things to do with not
Steal.
stealing. It's
Oh,
below him
he's a hero.
for not stealing.
The hero's not steal. But I'm like, wait, when does Wolverine drink whiskey? He drinks copious amounts of beer, as far as I've known. But in the movie, he's got empty beer bottles,
Yeah.
whiskey bottles and stuff.
Well, that...
keep going.
We keep going.
Yeah,
All
200
right,
let's go, yes.
He
go.
goes overseas, he sees the person that he had saved all those years ago, and says to Wolverine, I have something that you want, and that's the ending of your life, the pain to take away all this mutant powers, because you want things to be at peace.
Well, you want to die, essentially.
Right.
Because you've suffered enough, you've suffered, and Wolverine's going through the weird, dramatic Jean Grey, Famke Janssen, yay,
right,
working again.
But that doesn't really come through, because I never felt him... He says a line in the movie, you know, like, you killed me, and it's like, well, you were hurting a lot of people. I had to do this. And...
He says that the Famke Janssen...
Right, he does says that. But it wasn't enough for me to say that that's why he wants to end his life. You know, he does protect the people that he does encounter every once in a while. But it wasn't for me that I thought... He's tired of this life. He doesn't want anymore. He wants to be...
But he's just take some Ritalin. Take some happy. Take the Prozac, for God's sakes.
Get out in the sun. Shower.
Shave.
Have some beans. I don't know. Eat a nice meal at a restaurant or something. Stop buying batteries.
Well, but he's secluded. He's doing the existential kind of thing.
It's not even a walkabout. He's just lying around.
Going into town.
Going to town buying
for
batteries.
Yeah.
So aside from that, we go moving along to the old man that he had saved all the years ago dies. And then the story kind of, to me...
Then the story twists. It twists, because there's the funeral scene.
Yeah.
And we've got to mention Miyako? Yes, the granddaughter.
Yeah.
Of the man whose life he saved.
So, which he had some kind of tech organization, multi-billion-dollar company.
I think what we're having here, I think, what's the problem with the movie? The problem is not a coherent storyline?
Much so, to the point that we can't even discuss it ourselves, because we're trying to discuss what...
We're trying to figure it out.
Ourselves. Because basically, the company that the old man created...
It's a billion-dollar company, that's great. But they've almost bankrupted it because he's been interested in Wolverine and collecting adamantium.
Right. But the father, the son, was hiding this from the shareholders, so the company was nearly bankrupt, which makes me wonder what money is left over to go give it to the granddaughter, which I still don't understand that whole premise, because... But
she's marrying the Minister of Justice.
But she's married, wants to marry someone else who she...
Right. Okay. Clearly, lots going on in this movie that's very just convenient stuff.
And makes no sense. And, except for... She is being saved by the Wolverine, and the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia, is after her to kill her for what reason?
Because they've been hired by the Minister of Justice. Weren't you paying attention?
Oh, I forgot.
There's a lot of forgetting. I think we're recording this to try and remember what we saw, because
we want to erase it tomorrow from our memories.
It's not the most memorable movie. The sights, there was that cool bullet train scene in the trailer, which goes by pretty quick, and
yeah, it's only less than 5 minutes, and
that's one of the highlights.
That's about it.
The sci-fi highlights. Can you remember any other special effect things that were or cool things that Hugh Jackman did that were just woo?
Yeah. Which you brought up the point. If Wolverine has his claws into the roof of the bullet train,
wouldn't he be decapitating people?
Wouldn't someone be hearing? It's like, what the hell is that noise up there? Cats? Where do we cats on top of a bullet train?
We're going 170 miles an hour. There's no cats on the.
But that's the weird thing. It's just okay, fine. We'll just go with it. He gets rid of the bad guys, and then he's off at some kind of lake house countryside place that only she knows where it is. But apparently, the bad guys eventually find out where she lives, which makes no sense in the context of the story.
Our criticism of this film is not making sense. We're not focused. We hit the focus.
No, it's all right, because we haven't even got to the bad part yet. The bad part, you have this
third act.
You have the villainess named Viper, and we kind of looked it up, and she is her, aka the always known as
Viper. It's part of the Serpent Squad, but it's kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Let me read this to you really quick. First Viper known as Jordan Strike, otherwise also known as Jordan Dixon, created blah blah blah. First appeared in Captain America number 157 in January 1973. This character was the brother of Leopold Strike, also known as the costume criminal, the Eel. They each formed costume identities without realizing this fact. Come on, man. Serpent Society. Serpent Squad.
Sweet.
Viper concealed the fact that using allies in a crime wave. And Viper battled Falcon and Captain America. During the course of the fight, Viper managed to poison his opponents with darts and escaped later.
So he fights on the ocean?
I don't know what he does, man.
You can't fight on land. There's no such thing as a land eel.
Yeah, okay, but her
There's
thing
a
is...
land shark. So I'm looking up in Wikipedia and I'm looking in the back history. It's like, oh, okay, she was in lots of different incarnations of that character.
Essentially, she's just Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
In the Marvel Universe.
And literally, she has like a green outfit, except without all the weeds.
Yes.
And it gets to be a kind of a weird point of... Okay. She has this...
Kiss of Death.
A kiss of death, this special ability
Brilliant
to
biochemist.
Exude poison in the face of people, or
and then hurt you, and then take it back.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is-
So, but if she gets injured by poison, she has this ability to take off her skin or the infected part of her body that is poisoned, like a serpent, and like shed her skin. But in doing so, there's this one scene in which he's having her finger going down the middle of her face, down to her chest, and it's like literally taking off her clothes, and then 2 seconds later she's back up, new skin, no hair, but her clothes are back on. I'm like, she shut it closed to have clothes underneath the skin that she already had. Crap.
It made no sense.
It made no sense, and it was really a shame because I never heard of this character, but
you don't need to know about this character. Look, we are dorks. We understand the material. We love this genre. We are superhero movie. No matter what, Monty, we're going to see superhero movies.
I know,
except Ghost Rider. What was the recent one?
The second one, Ghost Rider Vengeance.
Thank you.
The first one, crappy as it was a hell of a lot better than the second.
I just think Nicolas Cage is in it. I don't want to see it. Not that he's
no.
not my guy.
No,
but Kick-Ass, he was great in Kick-Ass. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a different podcast altogether. So we get to, I guess, the crux of
third act.
The third act, where we have.
Wait, any problems before? Want to bring anything else up?
We'll come back to that eventually, but we're just kind of zooming into the ending.
It's a Quentin Tarantino podcast. We're going forward and back.
It's not linear. Don't worry about it.
Baseball. I was afraid you were going to ask me that question.
What is this thing called baseball you speak of?
Oh,
stop that. Stupid aliens.
Try and keep up, kids. It's a pop culture reference.
Oh, that? Just stop the podcast.
Yeah, you're just not. We're just going to talk in code about Star Trek episode.
All right, so we get the big bad at the end. His name is the Silver Samurai.
Why are you looking at me like to confirm that? I know it's a Silver Samurai. I'm Asian. I fucking know that.
Good fucking for you. But the big reveal was that as Wolverine is fighting it, he does decapitate the head. But lo and behold, it's the old man that he saved all those years ago, who had been saving this moment to get the healing effect from Wolverine in a weird fashion. Basically, they had Wolverine strapped into a chair, his claws extended. The Silver Samurai was going to come in with this heated adamantium blade to chop the claws and then extract the, I guess, the mutant
chocolatey goodness.
The chocolatey goodness from his claws, and which is going to transfer the essence all over to the old man. And he does do that.
Yeah, sadly, the science on this makes sense to me. I mean, it's kind of abstract. It's kind of like, okay, well, let's see. We've got a lobster filled with chocolate. Where is it weakest? You can chop off his legs, but there'd be blood and all that. The claws really are the most effective way to get this stuff out, seemingly.
Apparently so.
I mean,
if he's assuming that's the weakest point.
Well, and they're bone claws, because they are bone claws coated with adamantium, so...
But they're not shaped that way.
But, whatever. They're bumpy in the bony claws.
Well, that's the other thing.
But they're nice and smooth when they're adamantium. But that's not...
Well, I don't think... Okay. I always thought that the adamantium with his claws, these were metal claws, not coating over his bone, and they were metal.
But you've now seen this, and you saw Wolverine Origins.
No.
With the little kid who kills his dad. Ah! You know.
No, because what happens is that the claws do get cut off.
Yes.
And Wolverine has to...
And I thought that was very bold and brave. I thought, oh my God, they're going to mess him up for future days? But...
That could happen because there was an issue, or several issues, in which Wolverine had his adamantium stripped.
I hate the bone claws.
And because I remember feeling that kind of pain every time he extended those claws, the pain that he had to...
Oh no, I'm going up against Magneto, and I have... Yeah, but adamantium, is adamantium magnetic?
Well, it's metal. That's the whole... the essence.
I'm sorry, my name is Magneto. Magnets work against iron, not stainless steel, not... Some metals, it doesn't work.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm stripped of that metal, then I can... I don't care what power you have off Magneto. I can just punch you in the face because you can't do anything to my bone.
Right.
Now, unless I want to do something with your iron in the blood, that's a whole other issue.
X-Men 2!
There you go.
Hey, wait, you've got too much iron in your blood!
Oh!
Wow, that was graphic.
I'm a bad guard.
I got drunk and thought I was going to mess around with Mystique, and she messed around with me.
So
in the bathroom! With my butt. I don't know, sorry. Oh, yeah.
But that would make sense. But it didn't seem like that was the case. Only part of his skeletal system is the bone claws that has no adamantium. So, and that's how it kind of ends in that sense.
But at the end of the movie, he's still got bone claws.
That's what I'm saying.
And no adamantium on his claws.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Which makes him really cool.
Right. But in the last bit, after the movie is ended...
Spoiler.
Really?
Well, spoiler after. Now, you know, the funny thing to me with that last sequence is usually you wait through the entire credit list to get the little piece.
Right.
This was like, here's a minute, and we know you want to leave the theater because the movie was bad. And here it is.
But the good news, and this is actually part of the
saved the movie for Monty. Monty was so happy, but he was, yes, thank you. That 1 minute saved the movie for him.
It's the equivalent of watching Iron Man 1 and waiting to the very end and you see Nick Fury talking about the Avengers Initiative. So we get Patrick Stewart as Professor X, we get Ian McKellen as Magneto, talking about the events leading up to Days of Future Past. How this is now going to be the next movie that Bryan Singer is going to be directing for us. So, it does set it up, and I was really excited about that because, one, Wolverine will not be in the whole damn movie, although he is playing a good part of the story line itself, which I think has to do with something with his consciousness being transmitted back into the past.
The previous, I think the Chris Claremont thing, Kitty Pryde gets sent back. But I believe this time, just to make things more movie-friendly, we're going to stop that idea and send Wolverine's consciousness back to
the earlier time.
Future. Back to the future.
Back to the Future 3? No, I hated that one.
You know, what do you want me to do about that? I can't take it back. You saw it.
No, you can't. But it does have at least a glimmer of hope for the X-Men franchise because it's been...
Okay, but...
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing for me. I am embarrassed. I am hurt. I don't understand. Wolverine should be just as big as Spider-Man. And for me, I mean, look, we did not like The Amazing Spider-Man, and we have a point about the whole Stan Lee appearances in a bit.
Right.
But the thing for me is Wolverine should be an A-grade movie.
Right.
Character. But we're watching this, and we've seen Wolverine Origins, and you know, I don't know if it's Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was fine in the first 3 X-Men movies. I never have a problem with him doing, but when he's doing his own X-Men movie, I don't know who falls asleep at the wheel.
Right.
We did some research. We found the writers of the Wolverine movie to be quality writers. Mm-hmm. There were 2 of them. Their names were, and my screen is blank. Wolverine. They were Mark Bomback and Scott Frank. They're quality writers, and James Mangold has also written great things. But the thing is, you're watching it, and it's a supposedly A-grade character it's in a B grade role.
Right.
It just doesn't feel good. The CGI effects are bad. I mean, I don't understand that. Now, how much did this movie cost, Mon? You said it was 100 and...
The production itself was $120 million.
Okay, so that's less than most mainstream blockbuster
Well,
films.
or at least half of what. Which is good.
Which is what they should do.
Right. Now, domestically, looking up in the Box Office Mojo site, it's close to $100 million domestically, which is not bad considering. Foreign, and this is what's going to be the majority in the future of how movies are going to make their money, is in the foreign market, and we're looking at about 159.
It's always been that way.
Well, now it's more so.
It's
now.
more vital, yes.
So you have 159 million. So total, we're looking at 256 million in gross worldwide. So I can't say that's just going to garner a sequel because one.
No, Wolverine's over. There's not going to be a sequel. To
we
this
don't
movie.
need a Wolverine sequel.
No.
He will be in the X-Men Days of Future
And
Past,
and
that's it. That's enough. But I think the problem lies is that back in the day when we had the first X-Men movie, we had Wolverine, and everyone liked that kind of smart-ass guy in that room. Everyone started liking Wolverine in outside of that. We had the Wolverine and the X-Men cartoon series, which I really was pissed off because it's not Wolverine and the X-Men. He was part of the X-Men, but not making him a standalone character. But then, no, go ahead.
Wolverine is the home run.
Yeah,
Wolverine is the favorite son.
right. But
He is the man. But the thing of it is, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I cannot imagine you've got this potential blockbuster character, and you put the best people on it, but you come out with mediocre stuff.
Yeah.
And the Frank Miller stuff, we all love that. That comic book where he goes to Japan, and this is a twist. You always have to dumb things down, or water them down a little bit for movies audiences to get them to understand it. But this representation of Wolverine goes to Japan. He's like, it's my first time here. It's like, you've been around for a couple of 100 years. I'm sure you've
been here before.
Traveled to Japan, and I'm sure you wouldn't do offensive things like
put the chopsticks in the rice,
standing up because it like incense at a funeral. You would know that, as he does in the wonderful Frank Miller comic book. But he doesn't know that, and it's like, wow. And yeah, there's a continuity problem there. You can do a drinking game to it later on, but.
So I just think that it's that character has been oversaturated to the point that it's personal.
What else you got though? What else are you gonna do to entertain me?
Well,
I've got an 11-year-old child that I love, but I have to go to work.
Yeah.
Where are we gonna go for a movie to keep him happy?
You know what? When I think about my own son, he's not going to be wanting to see the Wolverine. I don't see him as like, oh, Daddy, hey, can you see him? No.
Your son is young. Your daughter, though, you show your daughter The Dark Knight and Batman Begins at a very tender age of.
She's only 12.
I know, but you're showing her that, and you were there, son.
I was there, afternoon. I asked her along the way each time, "Do you want me to stop the movie? If it's too scary, let me know."
You are the coolest dad in the world, but this can backfire on you badly.
No, I wanted her to deal with the violence. We were okay on the violence. The Dark Knight, that was a little one that I was just like, I love the Joker.
Did you watch it beforehand? Just like,
No. Because here's the thing. Even though
children are the future, I believe the children are our future.
The Joker does the pencil trick.
And
I was like,
leave them on and let them show the way. Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry,
remember
Whitney.
years ago, you let me, or no. I showed her Disney's Dinosaurs, which was a mixture of the.
Oh my God! Yeah, go ahead. I'm traumatized still by that movie.
Yeah, the comet scene in which the dinosaurs get devastated.
Oh, the freaking monkey survives somehow.
No, but she was crying because she was saying what happened to all the monkeys. But it's like,
there's 12 of them.
I know, but they survived. And it's like, but they all die, and she was bawling her eyes out, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought this was really good. So anytime we would play that movie again, we just skip to where the monkeys are still alive. So I'm really trying to be more conscientious about showing things in a positive way, but there gets to be a point where she's going to have to find out the world is not that clean and cut and nice. So it's going to be messy, it's going to be violent, but it's a PG-13. She's 12. I think she can handle this. So the pencil trick is very disturbing by its execution.
What about them burning the man? This is my half of the money. I'm just going to burn you while you're on top.
He's
That's
fine.
not disturbing at all.
It's fine. My biggest thing was the pencil trick. That was my thing. Then I'm like, she's going to freak out about this. And she was fine. So
Quickly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's
Tearing off a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
what just happened? Let's keep going. Don't worry. Just keep going.
She kind of felt really creeped out by the Joker itself. And I said, this is really kind of a psychotic...
This is not our father's Joker.
This is not Cesar Morero.
This is not Jack
laughing
Nicholson
around. Nothing like
doing
that.
musical sequences and dancing. No.
So it's fine. So she was cool with that. So even though we have to do The Dark Knight Rises, that's nothing. Bane, cracks his back supposedly.
What do you mean? I am fine. I am going to be. Oh, hey. I love this calmness.
It will be bad for you.
Look, it's one of the most imitated voices currently.
I know.
It's fun.
It is.
Just put your hand up to your face and just, hey, how's it going? What are you doing over there? Why is... Can I get more cheese on my sub, please? Say anything.
What if we continue this whole podcast with the voice of Bane? That would be bad for you. So, but that's...
They're wondering why you killed the man and then threw him out the plane. What the... What?
So, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I lost what I'm trying
Focus.
to
The Wolverines.
The Wolverines.
Los Wolverinos.
Oh. So, going back to the whole thing. My son is more like, I want to see Spider-Man, and I want to see Batman and Superman and all of the DC characters, but the cartoon versions of it. I don't think he's there to the point that I'm like, what, he has claws and he's that excited. He's more into the Legos, the superheroes, and that's fine. I want to keep it kind of that kid version of superheroes.
Show him Howard the Duck.
Screw you and Howard the Duck. You're
Duck
the
booms!
only one that is keeping that movie alive. And it needs to die, Gene. And if I had to take you down with it, so be it. You will go down.
You want to go to Thunderdome? I'll take you in Thunderdome.
2 man in, 1 man out.
Let's go.
Ball spot.
Go!
Alright. So,
Penis head. Go ahead, yes.
well, all the ladies love it. Can't get enough of it.
That's just your wife. So anyway, go ahead. Yes.
Really, it doesn't matter anyway.
You have a wife. I
have
know.
a
I don't.
wife.
You have a wife. You have a life. I, however, have alcohol. Yay!
So in your head, you have it all. Hey, that rhymed. You have alcohol and you have it all.
Let's get back.
All right.
We've now got 2 listeners.
Yeah. Oh, no, we lost the 1 listener. That was just us.
Yeah, now it's just us. We listen to this like 20 years from now. Like, I missed those times.
Yeah. All right. So, there were some other points that we talked about in Wolverine, but...
Stan Lee, not Ting.
Yes. That's the other thing. I thought about this, is that for some reason, I thought I saw Stan Lee's name in the credits. The closing credits, I thought I saw his name there, but I did not see Stan Lee himself. Now,
We have a theory.
The theory is that anytime Stan Lee's in one of the Marvel movies, it's a good sign. It's again, a kiss from
All
the
Star Trek movies that are evenly numbered are good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. If Stan Lee's in the movie, you've got the mark of yay.
Right.
It's not John Ratzenberger. It's
right, and Pixar.
It's the mark of
Right, but. And here's the big but, because we looked at the...
I like big butts. I cannot lie.
I
You
know.
other mothers can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have another drink. So the thing is, we looked up who was the creator of Wolverine, because we thought about, if he was in the first X-Men movie and Wolverine was there, wouldn't it be smart for him to be in this one too? Well, it turns out that Stan Lee did not create Wolverine, so screw you. He wasn't in the movie. And to me, that is like, forget it. I'm not going to be in it. The movie's going to fail. I mean, he was in the Fantastic Four. It's not part of Marvel as far as...
but the thing is the nod.
Right, he's in it.
You want God to show up in your movie.
Right, but on that same token, he shows up in The Amazing Spider-Man with...
He created The Amazing Spider-Man.
I know, but Andrew Garfield. And he played the librarian, and they had the headphones. They didn't hear anything was actually going on, and I hated that goddamn movie.
I believe this. Here's what I believe. The thing is, with me is you know what? Sony owns the Amazing Spider-Man. It's just their property. And I don't think the Amazing Spider-Man should have been made.
Not as a reboot.
Well, the thing is, though, you need money. You just discontinued the Walkman. Recently, this year, 2013.
Yeah.
You just discontinued the Walkman.
Because, that was making so much money for them over the years. Still.
There are rumors that Sony's going to try and sell Spider-Man. But I don't know. That would be awesome.
Well, only if... Okay. If Disney now owns Marvel, wants to put in Spider-Man to Avengers, then they can do that. Then they could do spin-off series and do Phase...
They can't.
No, they can't do now. No, I'm saying if Sony sells the rights to Disney...
If they sell the rights, that'd be a windfall for Disney.
Right. Because then you can do Phase 4, whatever that's going to be, and have new characters to be in the Avengers and get rid of the old ones.
I've actually researched this, just to say this. There's just different legal contracts for different rights of comics, television, and movies.
Right. Even in amusement parks. Universal has all Marvel, Hulk rides and all that.
I know.
And Disney's just on the road.
The thing is that they signed rights, and the idea is if you sell the rights before you buy a company, those contracts are still outstanding. So they're not affected. So you bought Marvel, that's great, Disney, but you didn't get all the characters because there were still these outstanding contracts. So they can still do that. That's why Amazing Spider-Man was made.
Right.
Because it is a cash cow. It is the most popular, I believe, Marvel character out there.
It is. And unfortunately, it didn't do anything for me. I like Andrew Garfield tremendously in The Social Network, but his portrayal of Peter Parker was just not what I wanted. I didn't care for the reboot of story because we already saw that. I would want to see is treat this like James Bond. Give me a story, new actor in that role, and just continue it. Give me a story. Don't tell it all over again.
You know, that's what they were kind of going for, Monty. But this is what we got. We got Mark Webb's version of it.
Yeah, and then what we're getting now? We're getting Jamie Foxx as Electro.
Paul Giamatti
as a Rhino.
But you know, it can work.
No.
Look, I don't like the origin stories. I never do. But maybe it'll be better.
Well, no. There's some origins that work. Batman Begins is a perfect homage to telling a great story to get us all to speed. But I don't want to see that every 5 to 10 years. And now it's going to be like every other series is going to have that push to reset the universe in their way. It makes no sense.
So we're talking about Wolverine.
The Wolverine! So that's what it is. We're okay with the Wolverine to the point to say, if you hated Wolverine's origin, or X-Men origin Wolverine, then this does a much better job. Barely.
The Wolverine, in my opinion, is an entertaining movie. It's not bad. I think that it's got continuity errors, horrible continuity errors.
Right.
But it's entertaining. I'll give it that. And, you know, the average American sees 3 movies a year. This can be one of them, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, again, don't think about this as a high bar that it has to set. Because Origins was so low that whatever...
anything could come out.
Anything. It could still be much better. So it's not really saying much on the same token, but it does redeem at least the character to a small degree. But, my God, I don't want to see another Wolverine movie again. Not by himself.
And you probably won't.
He needs to be in a cast, and let's keep him there.
And oh gosh, please let Days of Future Past
work.
Well, it can fail easily. There's a lot of heat on it. It's got there's no First Class X-Men sequel. This is it.
Right.
You're mixing the casts of X-Men 2, X-Men Last Class with X-Men First Class.
Right.
And you're telling an epic story written by Chris Claremont, and it should be okay. Well, there will be moments that will fail, but...
I mean, next to the Dark Phoenix saga, Days of Future Past, this is like number 2 in my book. They better not fuck it up. I'm sorry. I want to see a really good X-Men movie and I love X-Men First Class, and I love the fact that there was a cameo of Wolverine in there. That's how you keep him special. Don't oversaturate him. Keep him short. Don't overuse him.
Well, I don't think there's much of a chance of that. He's had his little thing.
No, he's done. I'm done with Wolverine. Just like
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds. That's the other thing I forgot to mention.
Excuse my laugh.
Why did I like this movie? Because Ryan Reynolds was not in it. Because he was in X-Men Origins. He has Deadpool. And I don't think anyone who saw that liked him in that movie.
I think again, it's the package.
Ryan's package?
Well, no.
I don't want to see his package.
No, nor do I. But the idea is you get the director, the writers together, you sign on, and you in the creative team you trust.
Right, and
he's not a bad actor.
No, look at it all together, and you see it all. Pieces are there. For some reason, it just did not get executed properly. For whatever reason, from improperly using of continuity to bad dialogue to bad directing, whatever it is, it just did not gel. So, but even with all the flaws, it's still, again, a hell of a lot better than Origins.
Bring a flask.
Or two. Bring for you have a friend. Alright, so on that note, we're done with the Wolverine! Forever!
Until Days of Future Past, then we'll
Days of Future Past.
we'll criticize it.
Yeah.
Bring this back for one punchline.
Alright, so let us know if you saw the Wolverine yourself, or you want to share your thoughts about the character, comics, whatever it is. If you see it on my blog, post it there, put it on Facebook. I'm everywhere, so let me know what you guys think, and thank you very much for listening, Mr. Gene. Thank you
pleasure.
for being on my show, and hopefully we'll get
Pays
this
me in
on.
whiskey. Okay?
No, you pay yourself in whiskey.
It's because I'm sad.
Shut up, Gene. Good night, folks. Good night, Gene.
Good night, Monty.
Set. Camera speed. And action.
No one knows my pain. No one knows my hell. My unbreakable frame is just a prison cell. I can't remember before. I think I fought in some wars. How did I get these mutton chops? My wife was taken away. Now I'm in love with Jean Grey, but she's involved with Cyclops. I can heal any body part except this broken heart.